Scott Narver, it's John Cena's last year.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, I know. I think we should come up with a wish list of things we want to see John Cena do before he leaves.
Okay, like what?
Wouldn't it be great if he had a concert?
Like The Rock?
Ooh, what if he was in a Marvel movie?
Like Batista?
Yeah! What if he ran for mayor in Knoxville, Tennessee?
Oh, we don't really like to talk about that one.
John Cena's retirement wish list today on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there joining us on the PWP, the only wrestling podcast on the entire internet. Period. Full stop.
Yeah,
That's it.
bring it down.
I'm sitting a bit uncomfortably here because, as you can see in the video there,
You have a dog sewn into your chair.
bookstore took my chair from me, and he's now like a lumbar support.
We might have new listeners after the Rumble episode because people wanted to hear that, and they might assume that you have a Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I've got a bookstore in the house. A whole
You
bookstore.
named your dog. You named both your dogs unusual names.
Yeah, campfire and bookstore.
Yeah.
I don't understand the problem. What's the inquiry?
It's hard to
What's your dog?
just-
What's your dog's name?
divorced.
Yeah, exactly. This got off to a really weird start. Hey everybody!
I was looking for origins.
It's the
It's like you're walking around and you just
fine,
see like a thing.
Fine.
Campfire.
You want to go to the you want to go to
Bookstore.
the origins? We lost Cosmosis Jones, greatest dog who's ever lived,
Ooh, damn.
and
Dog's right there. Like,
yeah. Oh no, these dogs suck compared to Cosmo. Cosmo was the best dog ever, and we were mourning, and we went camping because we wanted to just spend some time together out and decompress because we lost my little soul dog. And we were literally sitting around a campfire, and Alexandra said, "Campfire is a cute name for a dog." And then it went into the phone. And then when we adopted Campfire, like 2 weeks later, he was a little, black Chiweenie. And I said, he kind of looks like a burnt log, don't you think? Yeah, Campfire. And that was his name. And then, ironically, first time we took him camping, petrified of the fire, will not go near the fire. If the fire is on, he is in the back of the tent and he will not come out.
Okay.
He hates camping, that dog.
And this one?
What did it say?
And this one?
This one, he's yet to be camping. Next month, we're going to go camping.
Is it terrified of bookstores?
For my books. Oh, he's been in a couple bookstores, and people don't find it as amusing as we do. We're always like, his name is Bookstore. Yeah, we thought it'd be funny to bring him in here, and they're just like, okay, cool. Make sure he doesn't piss on anything.
Was there like an old man smoking a pipe that had that same like facial features as this dog?
No.
And they're like, hey, what do we call a bookstore? Because that old guy that worked in a bookstore. Put it on the phone.
No, the thing is, once we named Campfire, we realized, oh, this is the naming scheme forever, and we made a giant list of names of all potential dogs and other pets, and they will all only be named things that you generally don't name an animal.
Okay.
We've got a lot on the list.
Do you have a fish name? There you go.
I don't think we've separated it into species.
That's all I
It's
do.
just kind of a massive list of names, really.
Okay.
Well, that was the banter section of the podcast. This is Pro Wrestling Palskis, and we are here for one purpose and one purpose only. That is to acknowledge him, the PWP World Champion, Mickey Bell from Gibraltar.
We did it.
But we don't hold it against him. Mickey Bell, the PWP champ for the month of February. If you would like to challenge Mickey in the Championship Battle Royal in the first episode of March 2025, well, then you have to head on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis. That's patreon.com/PWPalskis. There you can find out how you can get entered into the Battle Royal, as well as get access to the live stream exclusively to patrons. Thanks to everybody joining us via the super exclusive live stream. I'm getting booed by Alex Pierce for some reason because I guess this is just our relationship now. I've always liked Alex. He was always like one of my favorite listeners we had. And now I feel like he's being very antagonistic for no reason.
I would say the same about you to him at this very moment.
What are you talking about?
He was so enthusiastic last month. He became the first ever PWP champ.
Maybe he's just saying Bo. Bo.
Leave. Yeah, Bo Jake. Bo leave. And you were very upset with his watch along pick
because I understood because I saw through it. Okay, it was facetious. All right, it wasn't like he had no interest in watching that. He did not give two shits.
I believe he watched every scrap of that watch along.
He says, "Sorry, I meant Bojangles." Or BoJack Horseman. He was just a really big fan of BoJack, and he spelled Jack wrong.
Yeah.
What are we doing today, Scott and Arver?
Today, Jake, since we have different timelines of this episode, we are doing the Cena retirement wish list. We've seen Cena in the Royal Rumble, and that was a lot of things that it was exciting for a lot of people. And they thought, oh, maybe he's going to win. He's going to go on and go to WrestleMania and win the title. But we have a whole year of Cena, and we have moments and matches that I think we all kind of want to see or that we all want. And I thought it'd be a fun way with the Rumble out of the way. What do you and I want to see? It's a little bit of fantasy booking.
Okay.
What do we want to see? There's a lot of obvious stuff. I think there's some not obvious stuff that maybe we want to make a case where maybe WWE's watching right now. Triple H is like, oh, it's so hard to write stuff when the gates are just so huge. Oh, when the gates are just so big, it's hard to come up with another idea. Hey, maybe we got you covered. Maybe we got some good ones that WWE will want to pilfer from us.
This typewriter I used in that opening, I can't even access the keys because there's too much money all over it.
Oh, yeah. So we've got potentially some really fun ideas here, and hopefully the chat pipes in with some of theirs as well. We get some John Cena wish listings because we got a whole year. Some of these could happen.
Well, I mean, if you want, I'm just going to start with what I think might be like the most obvious one.
What are we doing? Moment or match?
Let's go match first.
That's our two categories.
Yeah, let's go match first. I'll just do one of my matches because I think it's the most obvious. I think it's gonna be a thing that everybody, talks about. It was talked about a lot in our Discord the night of the Rumble. They didn't even come to blows. They didn't touch each other.
There's no blowing each other?
Nobody blew each other. Specifically, John Cena versus CM Punk. CM Punk and Cena, one of my favorite rivalries of that era of wrestling, the early teens. I think that match in Chicago may be one of the best of both of their careers. If you do the career retrospective of the two of them, there's a Venn diagram, this career and this career, and a big sliver of it in the middle is that specific match. I kind of want to relive it. I kind of want Cena and Punk in Chicago. I want, because I think it's really interesting to have the big comeback feel good Cena tour. We all love John Cena. This is his last. To him to still be booed out of the building for the Chicago crowd, rooting for Punk. I think it could be contentious, and I think they could do a good job with promos of being like, listen, there was definitely some bad blood, but there's a respect here now that maybe there wasn't as much previously.
Sure.
You did try, you did pile drive me when that wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to allow to do that.
That's a different match.
You are correct.
You were
that was a Raw match.
That's the one I think of. That was a contendership.
I apologize.
For WrestleMania.
I'm thinking of the Money in the Bank match specifically.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to get at is
who's going to be sitting in the Ace Steel and Colt Cabana seats ringside?
The point I'm trying to make is there's contention there.
Is it now Cena's lady and AJ Lee? Do they sit there? Or no, I guess it have to be both the Punk people, right?
Right. His dog. Was
Larry.
Larry. I always want to call him Frankie for some reason.
That's
the
fucked
bird.
Up.
Isn't that the bird?
The bird?
The parrot.
Oh, that's Coco Beware's bird. That's Frankie.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that it's probably the most obvious, is why it's the first thing that came to my mind is there was a lot of speculation in the Rumble, like, oh, it's going to be great once they start wailing on each other. There's all that history there. And they did not meet from the time that Punk came out. They were separate.
So they'll have one of those meet cutes.
Yeah.
So you want it in Chicago?
I kind of want it in Chicago. I kind of want to recapture a little bit of that Money in the Bank.
You don't want it in Newbury, Mass.
I mean, if in a perfect world, I'd love one in each, but it's a retirement tour. I don't want to see him spending too much time with one person.
Oh,
you want him to go.
This
you want
from
to
a guy who's getting married.
I don't see the comparison between.
Don't want to see them spend
a wrestling
too much time
match
with one person.
and.
Aren't you guys going to have a wrestling match after the wedding?
I can't respond to these.
Oh my goodness!
Allegations.
He's a virgin. He's so excited.
That movie, that movie with Steve Carell?
Yeah.
It's about me.
Oh, no
Even
shit.
though I was only 20 at the time. The writing was on the wall.
Evan Almighty, right over there, everybody.
That's
That's
right.
him.
That's right.
That's amazing.
I'm still
No wonder
trying-
you have two
Just
dogs.
fucking
It
building
starts
this arc. We used to have 2 cats.
It's crazy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He was
Literally.
involved. He wasn't involved.
All
right, that's a solid match.
Yeah, I just think that, again, there's so much history. The two of them are great on mics. They could both do promos without the other person even being in the ring if we wanted. And I just think that it's like, that is, out of all of my matches, that's the most, there's a lot of stuff that's relying on nostalgia of my picks. But that's the one that's the most like, these two guys are intrinsically.
You have to have the final chapter.
Yeah.
There's a different dynamic too, which I think
Yes.
is interesting with Punk, that he was the underdog and calling Cena the dynasty. He's the Yankees.
Yes, 100%.
And that's like, well, Punk,
You're the Yankees now.
yeah, you're that too. And Cena's on the way out. So what does Cena do to shift that back to Punk and throw it in his face? And
Right.
yeah, it's very.
But then
I'm all for it too. It's
right.
There are certain ones that are talked about where people are like, oh, I want this one more time. That is one where I don't go, nah, I could skip it.
Right.
I want it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's kind of where my wish list starts.
Well, I will echo Mike Lucas with my first one here. I am on the same page. Mike Lucas says John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. Absolutely. That was on my list.
That was on your list?
Yes.
And is it a long program, or is it just because we want the fun, feel good? Mysterio is one of the best at getting his comeuppance in the entire locker room, and Cena could do great stuff with that guy.
Cena needs some wins in this year. He can't lose to everybody and make everybody future star. And while I think, yes, it also would work if Dominic beat him.
Right.
I think it is one where all involved would be happy. Dominic doesn't lose anything out of it.
Nope.
But there's this feels like something that could be a Raw match that you advertise a few weeks out, that they have some back and forth. And it's like, well, you know what? In 2 weeks, you and me, Cena, and it's all right, kid.
You've also got the built-in Judgment Day Superman has to overcome the numbers game.
Yeah, but leave Carlito out of this. Last time there was a stabbing, and we lost the talented person out of the whole thing. We lost Jesus Aguilar.
I'm not happy about that. I don't know what you're referencing.
That was the whole story with Carlito and John Cena. His bodyguard, who was the hardcore kid in UPW.
Okay.
Jesus Aguilar, great talent. Was the guy who stabbed John Cena in a nightclub. It was all leading to John Cena versus Carlito.
Interesting.
And Carlito's awful still. And Jesus got like a one-off match with him, and then I think he got hurt. And then that was the cold days of WWE where it's, oh, you're hurt? Okay, bye, you're cut. We're done with you.
Wow, I didn't know any of that. Never heard of it.
Carlito stayed. But JD though, that's one tough cookie.
Holy shit, we never talked about that. You want to take a quick
we
sidebar?
Never did. Never.
I gained so much more respect for that dude.
Hard same.
That injury was horrifying, and I saw the clip of it. Okay, and that week I didn't watch Raw until Friday night. It was a day I actually didn't watch it the night before the Rumble.
I watched it the morning after.
Okay,
and I was just watching the match,
and I had already seen the clip 100 times because it was all over social media. My brain assumed, yeah, he did that. They took that was the end of the match. It was because it was a pretty big spot. I assumed it was a big spot towards the end of the match.
Nope.
They took him out.
Nope.
It's like the second thing he does.
Yep.
And then he does a fucking massive moonsault. He does another big spot, like a big, tough Uranagi backbreaker kind of thing where everything is on his ring.
He got up on the apron and moved his head.
Honestly.
That was
broken ribs,
punctured
lung. That dude, that was fucking astounding. I have so much more. I like that dude. I think that he's going to have to come back a babyface. At least for like a week.
There will certainly be a fair amount of, hey, you've earned respect now.
100%.
We kind of like you. We'll boo you, but we're ready to like you.
Again, like I said, that first week he's going to get a pop that first week. Maybe
he's already moving in the next level.
Yeah.
Unlike Carlito.
But anyways, no, I dig this. I like the idea of Cena and Mysterio. And Mysterio, like I said last week, is just so good.
He beats his dad all the time. He can have those wins.
Right.
But Cena can put Dominic in his place. They can have some back and forth. Dominic can be cheating and Cena being like, fucking kid, you better cut this out.
Right.
Little snake. So I think that's a needed one. Dominic needs to have that on the resume.
Right.
That match needs to happen to help elevate. And I think with my list, that's where he needs a win.
Right.
Just amongst the people, amongst the 30 to 40-ish matches we're going to have out of the year.
Right. It's also tough because it's like you said, Cena needs some wins, but there are a lot of these matches that are like dream matches that are achievements that are also simultaneously like potentially detrimental to the story of John Cena's last year, because a lot of them, like, he can't win if we're going to be doing this. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think that's interesting. I'll get into one of mine that I have on here that I'm like, he can't win it, but losing it isn't good for him either. So it's like, but that's
I think it depends on where.
Sure. But
in the,
right.
Because I got kind of a rough timeline in my head of like certain things that happened with it. We'll get into with all this.
What about some moments?
Ooh,
you got a moment for me?
I do. I got a moment for you. Let me see. Let me start out with one of the. Okay, so this goes into the timeline a bit. So we're talking timelines with Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. He's going for the title shot and main eventing WrestleMania. I think all that can't come to fruition. I think he has to miss these opportunities.
Right.
And the title shot that he gets, maybe SummerSlam-ish time. So Mania, he ends up having a featured match with someone, and it's a big deal, and it's whether that's the loss or a win, and there just needs to be the rekindling of,
right,
I can't do this, I'm on the journey, but he can't have it all at the beginning of the year, I think that's just, the chase is gone, there's nothing else, and it's over. Then what do we give a shit about the rest of the year? Like, oh, he has some occasional matches. Like, hey, remember he fights Punk again.
It does seem really weird that this tour doesn't culminate in his last Mania. It's like the fact that Mania is the first third is really kind of strange.
Fucking great. No more.
I dig it, but it's
no
strange.
more retirements at Mania.
Right, yeah.
It just makes it fucking sad.
Right.
Hey, at WrestleMania this year, you're going to see one of your favorites go away for all the time. Why?
Right. Sure.
Stop. Let that be a bad blood or something. Fuck. Right. So I think there needs to be a moment around summertime when there's doubt and he's going to get a title shot against whoever that is. That's not what's important in this.
Right.
But there's been losses, there's doubt, and he's in the ring and he's talking, he's connecting to the crowd as he does, and just saying like, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to make it happen. I need something. Angle comes out.
Oh, I was like, whose song is this?
Angle comes out and everybody's like, oh shit, it's Kurt Angle.
And he hands him his Shield vest and he says, dress like a Shield member.
He sure does.
That's what I did. It was so fun.
And then Kurt walks the ring, but he doesn't look happy-go-lucky like he has before. He walks to the ring and then Cena's there. And then just as the music cuts out, Cena's like, what do you want? And then Kurt grabs the mic from him and says, ruthless aggression, and slaps the fuck out of Cena as a big old receipt.
Great moment. Great moment.
And then Cena just sees it and feels it. And it's like, okay, so we didn't get the retirement match between those two, right?
Yeah.
But it's Kurt coming back full circle and being like, you need that fire in you to win that title.
Right.
And slapping it into him. So we get that. That's a moment I want to see.
All right. So my moments, I'm realizing now that your moments are specific and mine are not. But that's really cool.
I want to see Cena tie his shoes.
That's kind of what mine are. Mine are like, oh, it'd be fun if this happened. Here's a moment I have written down that might tie into some stuff that we're getting in the chat here. And it's kind of it's a moment / match. It's one of those things where in my moment, the actual person is less important than the fact that it happens. And that is like, I want in this tour Cena to have the first match of a newcomer in the way that KO came up from NXT and his first match on the main roster is John Cena. I want him
John Cena.
Sure. Well, that wasn't his first match. He had already been around a little bit though, right? He was just not doing
good. Not in WWE. No,
really?
Not on main programming television.
I thought
that was his introduction.
I didn't know that. I thought that was like a couple weeks in or a couple months in or something.
No.
Okay. So then, yeah. So
who are you, kid? John Cena.
Right.
And what do you got? Ruthless aggression. This is John Cena.
Sure. Okay, sweet. So that's kind of what I want. Like, and I don't know who that person is because the idea is I kind of want it to be somebody who I don't know it is. I can think of maybe like some NXT people, but that's like doesn't feel the same.
Joe Hendry.
We'll get there. But Lemon Cat says this is just pure fantasy, but Cena versus Tanahashi. Both are on their farewell tour. Both were in charge of saving their company after veterans left and helped build their companies back up. If Tanahashi had
Slaughter and Cena were in totally different time frames. That was a different. I disagree, but all right, whatever. Don't be sour, Lemon Cat.
I don't get it, but
he's a veteran.
Oh, okay, got it.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Man, that was okay. But I don't know, like something like that, where like somebody comes into the WWE and it's whether they are a new up, and I prefer it to be more a newcomer than necessarily somebody who's already on their way out, a legend themselves.
Sure,
that's more just another fun dream match. But I just like the idea of him not just being like, yeah, Punk and Roman and like not going through all of the big top guys, but being like, hey, welcome to WWE. Let's see what you've got, and like kind of playing that gatekeeper still. And again, I don't know who that person exactly is, but since you just brought it up, do you want to go back to matches? Because I also wanted to talk about one of my other matches.
Go right ahead.
You mentioned Joe Hendry. I don't know that it is Joe Hendry, but one of my quote dream matches is essentially whoever I want Cena to challenge for the TNA championship.
Really?
Because I think it's a thing that he's never done, a company he's never been associated with. They have this partnership. It could be great for TNA. It could be, a thing that Cena's never done that nobody ever expects. They have, like, I don't know. I think that the question is,
fight Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Championship.
I mean, that would be something if it was Nick Nemeth. The problem is that like Joe Hendry, I don't know, as the champion, I don't know if that works. Whereas if it is somebody who's like if we talked about it, like Moose, when we were talking about like, oh, what would you want the TNA, like crossover to give us? Like if there was somebody like that, somebody who is just such a TNA guy,
Matt Hardy.
He doesn't have to win the title. It doesn't even have to end cleanly. But just the idea that like, because let's not forget Cena. Oh boy. Oh, I literally turned into Santino there for a second.
You did.
I'm not even going to say Tamina. I'm going to say Santino. He's chasing Flair's record, and that is a world title. He didn't specify what company.
Sure.
So like, here's a world title that not only is it a world title, it's one I've never had, never challenged for, never wrestled for this company, whether or not it's on a TNA program or a WWE program. I don't know how that works.
Boy, that gets into weird.
It does get into some weird shit.
Well, it gets into weirder, nerdier shit where it's like Flair's record is the WWE record that they acknowledge.
Sure.
That it's not real. It's more than that.
Well, but they also count NWA though, don't they?
No, they're also not counting other. It's really like 21 or 22.
Of course, because they're not counting some other companies. Right. Sure.
Or some. I've never looked into what it is, but Flair's always said like, that's not the number. That's their version of the number.
Right. Of course.
And we don't even say Lawler. Like,
right.
Fuck that
of
one.
Course. Yeah. He never even had a title here. But anyways, I feel like that's, again, I don't know who the match is, which maybe is sort of it goes against this format, but I like the idea of him challenging for the TNA title while they have this good working relationship. We've been seeing it on our program, like I think it's fun, unique, strange, unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think Cena is a guy who, like Lemon Cat was saying, like, really was the head of the company for so long, the face of the company, not the head of it, face of the company for so long, and ushered in a lot of things that are kind of new and a lot of other new faces. And like, if, we've had him at One Night Stand, like there's a precedence for this, even though it was WWE.
You could win the title that Kenny Omega won in AEW.
Yeah. But I just think that, I don't know, this is a fun thing to explore. And the idea of him, of a ref holding up the TNA World Champion and saying, like, and your challenger, John Cena, I think that's a fun moment that I think we would all.
And then he could be like Hulk Hogan, where he goes in interviews and they go, so you work for TNA? And he's like, yeah, I work for this other company. I do things with them. Is it TNA?
It's a company.
It's a company that does wrestling.
Right. Is there an E in the name?
Well, in a similar vein to a moment that is shared, my moment is I want John Cena in TNA. I didn't think there was
Interesting.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't share each other's lists or anything.
No, this is all, yeah.
Um,
Meaning like for a week?
I mean, for a show.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So that's kind of where I was thinking. Like that.
It's an unexpected
Right.
one impact or something like that. And I get it. Maybe ultimately they go, we want to fucking
Pay-per-view.
advertise the shit out of this.
Right. Sure.
But it's ultimately John Cena for one night is in TNA.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it as wrestling because I don't feel the scale is the same with Cena is the same. I can see WWE going like, we don't want to take the risk of you fighting somebody. I felt the championship wasn't worthy. If he does take it off somebody, that means he's then got to lose it to somebody.
But that's why I said, like, if it's a dust off, if it leads to something in WWE later, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's a lot of tie into it.
I know.
That's why I ultimately felt the absurdity, the craziness of he's there one night. He interacts with people. He's there. He's in the ring. The fans can go crazy. They can't believe it. Mike Tenay can pop out of somewhere and go like, oh my God, with his tuxedo on, even though he doesn't work there anymore. Just whatever it is. They can forever have the footage. Hey, Randy Savage has been here. Fucking John Cena's been here. There's people that you never believed it. They showed up. And I think that alone is a moment.
I also like the idea of Nick walking up and going, hi, I'm Nick Nemeth, the way he used to. I mean, listen, he's got plenty of friends there. So it's not like, well, I mean, like people who work at WWE is what I mean by friends. And so the excitement of him being a part of that,
because he's been in NXT,
can be eased.
He's shown up there.
Exactly. Can be eased by the, like, Matt and Jeff walking by and just being like, what's up, man? Like there's, I love it. This is why I wrote down the title. Cause I think that's also ties into his story where that, like, I'm also trying to figure out a way to justify it. I think
to just be there. Totally. And it's like, I wanted to show up and I wanted to see other great superstars and see these fans. And I know you've been great. Like he can spin that web where they all go like, he loves us more than the WWE crowd.
Right.
All that. It would just be, I think, really special. And it's a moment, it's an appearance, and it's for wrestling nerds ultimately.
All right. I have a wrestling nerds thing that is corny and cheesy, and it's a one-off. This is the gimmick of the evening for John Cena.
We're doing moments or matches?
This is a match.
Okay.
Maybe it's a Survivor Series. But, oh no, they keep doing War Games. I don't want him to be in War Games. That's not on my list. But solely because of how tied into Cena was as one of the best opponents of the late great Bray Wyatt. I want one night only Dark Cena with the Wyatt Six. I want the Wyatt Six to be down a man against some other team.
Oh, is he the Vince puppet?
Yes, he's a Vince puppet. He comes out with red horns on his head and a suit. That would be fucking awesome.
Does he poop on people?
Obviously. But I don't know or care really what the story is, but the idea that, like, fucking Uncle Howdy Bo or whoever can be like,
he's NWO because that's what he was in the
something reality. But he was also Ruthless Aggression. He was also all of those things. But I see what you're saying.
No,
that
but there was
the version of him that had he gone the other way, right?
Right, that Bray brought out of him.
Right.
That got an action figure.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I don't know, something that is like, and it's out of like respect for what Bray did to him and what the level that he brought to him and like what he brought out of him, because they did such a great job of that story and of tying those two characters together in ways that we didn't even like, in ways that retroactively made bad moments great, or not bad moments, but made like moments that were like their first couple matches, or like the losses that Bray took, like where I think in the moment we were all like, okay, Bray loses to everybody, Super Cena can't be stopped, we don't care. They figured out a way to make that like one of the most captivating stories for a while.
I didn't feel that way. I know there's that sentiment at the time.
Yeah, I dug it. But Mike Lucas, Cena can play Mailman Pierce. But I don't know. I whatever it is, it's corny and it's just a fun feel good thing. But for me, it's like, oh, I would like, and it would be a nice way of acknowledging, like we talked about, some things are like, I'm going to nod to what's come before, and some things are going to be like something new. And I think this is one of those, like, nod to what came before, acknowledging, like,
right,
the loss of Bray and how I don't think Cena's really been around to do anything, to honor that. There's a dog stepping on cables. Why is everything shaking?
Yeah, that's what the dog's doing. Dog doesn't care for your idea.
Campfire's like, I'm going to burn this to the ground. You name it campfire.
We did not share lists.
We did not share. Oh, really?
We did not share lists. But one of my moments is the last time John Cena would be in New Orleans.
Okay.
Which is where WrestleMania 30 was, in which he had fought Bray.
Right.
I feel like that's the only sort of like connection you could really maybe establish. Just if it's a Raw or
it's not going to be the Full Sail WrestleMania.
Whatever it might be, that at the end of the night that he comes out, or he has the match, he does whatever he does for the night, and it's over. But then the Wyatt Six music plays, and he's up at the top of the ramp, and he's spooked, and he's freaked out.
Right.
And Wyatt Six members are coming from everywhere, and it's a whole big thing, and he's starting to get in a fighting stance. The commentators can maybe do the like, whoa,
oh my God, what?
Yeah, what's happening here? And hey, well, remember,
somebody needs to get him out of there. Somebody needs to help him. Yeah.
They can do the last time that John Cena and Bray Wyatt had a match was at WrestleMania 30. It was in New Orleans. They can do an Excalibur moment if they want. Sure. They've already done one, so the seal is broken. And he can be in a fighting stance and looking around him, and they're just slowly coming in on him, but they also they're not in attack mode.
Right.
And he's kind of seeing this, and he's not quite dropping his guard.
Right.
And there's, however they would want to do it, that's not absurdly silly.
Right.
That if there's maybe like a hand clasp and a bowing of the head.
Right.
And they just all kind of go solemn, except for Uncle Howdy. That they all just go docile.
It's because you said something that's not silly. My brain immediately went to, they all just start going, or like doing a Cena thing.
But like a hand clasp and heads going down.
Damn it, bookstore.
And he's seeing this, but then Uncle Howdy's still approaching him.
Right.
And then he does it too, and Cena also drops, and then it's recognized
like share a moment.
They're all sharing a moment about Bray.
Right. Yeah.
And then they don't go like, well, see you later, bye.
Right.
But Uncle Howdy holds up the lantern for John Cena.
Right, and he blows it out.
Love
it.
And then it goes dark, and then when the lights come back up, they're all gone.
Yeah, that 100%. That's fantastic.
That closes out a Raw or a SmackDown.
Great moment. And we don't need a match after that. But
no, right, yeah, it's not about a match. It's not. There's no one to fight in it, and it's just, hey, this is how you can say goodbye to this town.
Right.
Via a guy that maybe all of them met. I don't know.
Right. Lemon Cat in the chat says, what if Cena comes in and helps Miz with Wyatt Six? 2 birds, 1 stone. Cena was instrumental to helping Miz become the star he is today. I like it, but my whole thing is I kind of just don't want him fighting them. Like a part of me goes like, no, I want Cena to become the Thing for one night. Like I think it's a funnier story than just be like, oh, we're still mad at you from all those years ago. But I do also like something with Miz, because you're not wrong. Like he is definitely instrumental.
We'll get there.
But okay.
I got a thing.
All right. I got a match.
Okay.
Or maybe I go moments. Let's go something silly. We're sitting still, stupid things. We'll cross this off in 2 seconds.
Okay, Tamina.
Okay. This is the stilliest thing.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm dealing with dogs. All the dogs are on me. Come up here, Campfire. Come on. Yeah. I got dogs everywhere. Listen, if you're not in the live stream, you're missing all this cuteness. Hi, buddy. Okay. So Cena is in I don't know, a street fight, a no holds barred, a bloodline rules, all of an extreme rules match.
Mm-hmm.
And and whoever is in there with him has said to him, like, I'm gonna fucking knock your head off. Like, I am going to end you. I'm gonna hit you in the head so hard that you will die.
That his head gets knocked off.
His head gets knocked. Yeah.
So they're going backwards.
And at some point, he's beating up Cena and he throws Cena in the corner. I don't know who this is. I don't care. Who cares? It's just a stupid moment. And he's kicking him, and Cena's like down, kind of next to, leaning up against the stairs, and like kind of in between the apron and the stairs, that little corner that gets made when the ring stairs are there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy grabs a chair, he folds it up, and he raises it high over his head. He's gonna bash Cena in the head. It's a headshot. This is not allowed. They can't do this anymore.
Just flat out murder.
And just as he comes swinging down, Cena from underneath the ring grabs his Peacemaker helmet, and he puts the helmet on, and the guy bashes the Peacemaker helmet, And it has no effect on John Cena. John Cena takes the
that
helmet
we're
off,
aware of.
takes the helmet
Doctors say otherwise.
and he looks at the Peacemaker helmet, and the whole crowd goes like, "Oh, you were that guy from that thing!" And then Cena throws him in the ring, and he fucking beats him up and wins. There's my moment.
So he's then Peacemaker and kills him?
No, he just used the helmet as a protective,
Does he then do you really want to taste
He does the dance? Oh yeah, no, I forgot. Yeah, he has to do the entirety.
Oh, they got to pay for that song?
the entirety of the dance.
Oh man.
Season 1 dance, by the way. It's going to be a different one
I'm sure it will be.
every season.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah. I think we could all agree that that's probably that's gonna happen. It's a great moment.
It's a thing.
We could all agree it's a pretty great moment.
All right, well,
Campfire agrees, right, buddy?
I'll go into a match since it was, we did some moments here. Well, Miz was talked about. They do have a quite a big rivalry, even though Miz wasn't conscious for it. I say this is a match that I want to see to sort of tie up a couple of loose strings, not necessarily loose, but just the end of chapter of a few people. That R-Truth is going up to John Cena and saying like, "Hey, I just want to let you know you're my
favorite.
You're my childhood hero." And John's like, "How old are you?" And R-Truth is so good at, weaving around these things and never really giving a straight answer to this. And John's always, you get some Booker T Goldust type of feels of like the comedy duo, the Rock and Sock connection. And R-Truth going, "I talked to Adam Pearce and I'd be honored if you'd help me fight for the tag team titles." John Cena's going like, "I got a lot of things on my plate, man.
Right.
I don't know." But at this time, the tag team champions of whatever show is the Miz and Karrion Kross. They've been working together.
Okay.
This has been a thing, and R-Truth reminds him like, "Yeah, Miz and I were friends and we're not now. And didn't you have problems with Miz?" Like,
right.
"Yeah, he turned his back on me." Yeah, that's not cool.
Right.
And then Karrion Kross can start throwing shade at Cena and doing that, and there can be some talk while Cena's doing other things. This can just be brewing and happening. And R-Truth is like, "Come on, man, let's do this." And then, maybe after a couple of weeks, that Cena goes like, "All right, let's do it." And then they fight for the tag team titles against Miz and Karrion Kross, and they win it.
Oh shit!
And then R-Truth can be doing more silly shit of like, "I won the tag team titles with my childhood hero." And Cena's like, "What is he talking about?" And maybe we get like 3 weeks of this. Right? We get a title defense or two, and we get some feel good moments between them. But that's the match. But then it can, while we tie things up with the Miz gets his comeuppance with Cena. Karrion gets to be in there as well, so it elevates him a little bit. But then the New Day that are evil now can take it from those guys.
Right.
And we can move on. So Xavier and Kofi get the win over Cena and R-Truth.
Right.
And then we move past it. But the match ultimately is we got some R-Truth, we got some Cena, Miz, and Karrion.
I love that. We did not confer at all. My next match, because it truly is, in my opinion, I'm guessing, maybe there was 2 weeks there where this was the case. First time ever, Cena versus Kofi Kingston as a heel. I think Kofi is, I know that New Day started as heels, but it didn't last very long before we were all like, yeah, they're having fun.
More so, they were booed when they came out.
100%. You're right. It
wasn't presented as like,
you're 100% right.
You're going to hate these evil guys that are with a choir.
Yeah, I think they were actually presented as probably baby faces, and we were like, man, I don't like it. But I think Kofi Mania happened. And, Kofi's been put on this pedestal as this workhorse, as this guy that the whole locker room loves. And for the first time, like, he's in this completely new mode. He gets to do things that he's never done before. He's got to be like the tough baby face where he's still like, when they were feuding with the Usos and they were having like the Hell in a Cells where he still gets to be really intense, but in a way that's strictly a baby face, like, or even back in the day where we talked a lot about that brief feud with Orton where he was like on fire for a little while, right?
Yeah, throwing paint on a race car.
Yeah, ruining. That was at least $1,000 that show, I think. But we've got now like the world's most perpetual babyface, even though he got booed, in John Cena, with the guy who was kind of right there with him for their entirety of their careers. And now this guy has a completely different angle, a completely different edge, and he can
cope.
Thank you. He can say all the things that he always thought about Cena, but he never said. You've got, I don't know, how long did these two both employed with this company? 15, 20 years? Like, it's been fucking 2 decades.
Long time.
Imagine all of those things that he never said that he always thought about Cena, because I was always that guy that was just not good enough. You always got all my spot. I was always told this, that. You can a little bit of that, of the Daniel Bryan B player story kind of vibe of like, I didn't even get mine until you were fucking a foot out the door in Hollywood.
I had to be more like you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you have to be more like me?
100%. And just having like a really knockdown, drag out, like dirty fight with Kofi could do, I think, a lot for. I'm a little worried right now because the New Day are still fucking hilarious as heels. They are doing heel things in a way that is making me smile. And I'm like, oh, you guys.
Yeah, but some of it's a little throwback, though, of like the kind of old school territory heels.
Sure.
I mean, some
when
of
they
the
were in
backstage
LA,
stuff.
When they were in LA and they're like, oh, you guys are upset because Drake is so good. Drake is the best guy, best rapper of all time. And that to me is like, that's really funny. Like your finger is on the pulse of the society that you are in a way that's.
Yeah, they just got to not push that button.
Right.
When they're doing this.
Even backstage, like they're being funny with.
That's what I mean. It's that's still funny. And for that, for that feud, it's, hey, all right, hold off on that. Just be awful.
Yeah. All I know is that we talked about it last week at the Rumble, 10 out of the 30 potential winners, if not more than that, of like people who I could legitimately see them giving the title to. There's so much talent in this company, so many huge stars in this company right now. With all of that said, I still think there is a place for at least one more Kofi World Championship.
Sure.
And doing so as a heel, I think is a great thing. And this could be a launching point for that. I think Cena loses that match because he's never known Kofi like this. And this could be one of the step backs in Cena's story over the year, of a setback where, like Kofi really shocked him and he did it in a way that he wasn't expecting. And maybe that leads into he was too nice to Kofi, and that's where you've got your moment with Angle. Angle saying like you need to tap into that ruthless aggression. Like, I don't know, there's all of these things can be in place over this year. I bet you we could take all of these moments and like find ways that they all fit.
Do them all in one show.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But I don't know. Like I really want to see him and Kofi, and I think it would be a great spotlight for Kofi. Because I do think a little bit of Kofi's star has waned in a way that I don't think. I don't get me wrong. Like the heel turn was an amazing moment, but it still feels like it's the New Day, and I still want Kofi to have that single.
Sure,
moment.
yeah, they're building the unit.
Yeah,
again now.
100%. Stop it. He's like, bet me. I'm gonna bark at you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm doing a show.
We're in the middle of something.
Let's see here. Next match I'll go to. It's just a must. It's a must see. The back and forth between these two on mic is necessary. John Cena versus Drew McIntyre. This iteration of Drew McIntyre,
it wasn't even on my radar.
You can't pass this up. That was one of the moments we talked about last week briefly, where Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre had a moment after Damian Priest eliminated John Cena, and I go, I don't really want to watch that.
No.
And I was thinking about John Cena and Drew, and I go, I would like to watch that.
Drew, here's the thing too: is Drew is getting cheers, right? Like people are starting to get behind Drew. He's a tweener.
At times, it depends.
Depends on the
when
opponent.
he's up against Punk, they're gonna go Punk, and they want to make Drew pissed off.
Right. I think that they accidentally turned him babyface by putting him against Damian Priest. Like, I think if they put that up and they think this would be great, Priest, this is babyface, I think they're gonna realize how quickly people are gonna be okay with booing Priest again.
They'll figure out something sympathetic about Priest, where he's like, I was fat and poor.
Sure.
And Drew's like, I was always kind of ripped.
Yeah. I was born hot. Do you have any idea? I was a sexy kid.
So I think the level of stuff that Drew's done with Punk, what he did with Orton during the pandemic, of those, he's very good now at blurring those lines of what about the story that you're telling is real,
right,
and what is fiction. What were there moments between the two of them where maybe Cena blew him off years ago or told him some bad advice? Or
I'm sure there's footage somewhere of Cena giving him an AA when he was in 3MB that they can pull up. And just burying him in some way, shape, or form.
Just something where there's some nugget of truth to it. So we all have a little doubt, and it's really solid. And I think those two guys' styles would work really well together, because I don't think Drew blends with everybody great.
No, he's not. He needs the right opponent for sure. And that, to our point, I think both of us think that Demon is not that guy.
No.
Yeah.
But Drew and Cena, I think, would blend really well together. And that can be another one where either way, Cena can win it, Drew can win it. You could do a couple of them, but neither one are hurt by it. And I think that would be a great, if it's a one-time only match, that'd be great. And everything that leads up to it is a must-have for Cena's retirement tour.
I dig that. I like that a lot. I got something here in my moment section that I don't know that it's necessarily a specific moment like you've been coming up with.
Yeah.
It's more just a thing that I want to happen.
Him and Tamina making out.
And could you imagine? Like a mumble mouth?
I do.
Filling them mumble mouths up.
And then he does Peacemaker and he's like, oh no,
I'm a Peacemaker.
It's contagious.
Okay. We know him as, the 5 moves of doom. He started doing a cutter at some point. Now Cody's kind of doing that, and fucking also KO is now using.
No, he hit some uppercut also.
Sure. Wait, what?
There was a 6 move of doom.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, I want him in whatever his next match. Maybe it starts in the chamber if he's gonna be in the champ. His next match. Like, I want a new big move out of Cena. I want a 7th move of doom. I want something that finishes somebody off once or twice. Like, something that's a bona fide finisher. Like, I'm thinking of the way that wrestlers have always added things to the repertoire. Jericho's done it really successfully. Taker did it successfully. Like, there's people who are like, oh, I'm going to add this other new little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, the problem is I can't think of what it is, but he's got he already has the STFU, whatever it's called. So he already has a submission, isn't he? That the AA is his kind of out of nowhere thing, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen him do the Canadian Destroyer recently, and to less effects, I think. I feel like I remember him doing a few of those.
No.
He did something, or whatever.
It's the...
not the Canadian Destroyer, then. It's the one that...
It's the one that goes into a pin.
Right, yes.
It's what Ray used to do. It's red something?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Because the Amazing Red did it, yeah.
You flip up and over, but then it's kind of a powerbomb pin.
Right, yes, exactly. So we've seen a couple of these things. I'm like, oh, I want something that's like, that you just maybe wouldn't expect out of Cena. Even if it's something simple, even if it's just like this dude started, and it could be part of the story of that, like, he's not the same wrestler he used to be as far as age and his shape. Like, what if he just starts doing like a jackknife power bomb? Just like something really simple that becomes effective, or a last ride sort of big, tall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want a new move. I want, in his final year, I want him to add something to his repertoire that becomes one of his signatures in the video game next year.
Well, they did that for a little bit, and it came across as jokey.
Which one was that?
That was the 6th move of like this uppercut thing that Corey Graves was talking about. Like, oh, you learned this thing. I can't remember if they did a show in China or Japan or where it was, but he busted it out, and it was short-lived.
Right. Well, I want something better than that works then.
Okay.
I guess is what I'm asking for.
A moment that I would very much like to see is it can't just be all with the fellas. It can't just all be a sausage fest with John Cena. No, we need some ladies involved in some of this stuff. So Chelsea Green is going to John Cena and finally meets him like, oh my God, John Cena, this is so great. Oh, he takes a quick selfie. And John's like, hey, come on, what are you doing? Like, oh, I love all your movies. Oh yeah? Which ones? All of them.
Right.
Okay. John, I should be in your next movie. Oh, that's not really how that works.
Right.
I'd be great in your next movie. You should put me in your next movie. Like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm busy right now. Thanks. You do great stuff. And then this could be another thing where in the weeks, like when he's around, that she's bugging him. And then after a little bit, he's doing something, and then you hear the slam of the door and a lock. And he's going, what's going on? And she goes, I'm auditioning to be in your next movie.
She miseries him?
No, because that's nothing to do with that.
She's not going to break his legs or something?
No, because she didn't audition for anything. She was reading his book.
Yeah, I get it. But, it's the hostage situation, I suppose.
She's auditioning for him and not taking no for an answer because he keeps leaving and blowing her off.
Right.
So she's like, here, and then starts auditioning for his next movie that he's going to be doing. And he's going like, I can't do this. And she's like, I'm not letting you leave until you put me in your next movie. And he's like, what do you want me to do? It's all up to the director. Call your director right now and tell me you want me in it. Okay, I will. So she does terrible auditions and does all that. And he's like, I will. And he goes into his phone and he goes, I'm calling the director right now.
Right.
Hey, I've got this great new star and I think they should be in our next movie. Yeah. Oh, you're going to be there tonight? In the main event? You want to see her in the ring? Okay.
That's fun.
Oh, all right. And then it's like, you know what? I talked to the director. They've seen you and they're all about it. They want to see you in the ring tonight with the final audition. Oh my God, John, this is great. And he's like, yeah, all right. So she goes out into the middle of the ring and then John Cena comes out and goes like, hey, this is it. This is your final audition. It's for the beatdown scene. She goes, great. Wait, what do I do? He says,
you just really into this. Bookstore, get down.
So he goes, oh, you just got to be in the beatdown scene.
The beatdown scene.
Oh, you have a scene partner. Did I not tell you? And then Rhea Ripley's music hits.
That's fun.
And then Rhea Ripley comes out and Chelsea's like scared shitless. Like, wait, what? And then Rhea Ripley comes out, beats the fuck out of her. And this is a double bonus.
Okay.
That for Cena's next movie, there actually is a part for Rhea Ripley in it.
She's in
and he does it like
right.
You know what? I did talk to the director and they did say they wanted WWE
That's
Superstar.
Funny.
They didn't want you, Chelsea.
Right.
They wanted Rhea Ripley.
If you wanted to make this a lasting thing for Chelsea, this could be a fun to bring back the bride character by saying that, oh, the role is for this bride. So she comes dressed to the ring in a wedding dress.
She already wears half of it.
I know. She's got the back half, but this could complete.
Because she wants out of that marriage. Let's be honest.
And then she could be so upset that this happened, that Rhea beat her and that John lied, that she just stays in this character for a couple of weeks and we get a little bit of the old bride back.
She could.
Okay, this is fun. I really like this. Okay, I've got you want a first time ever or a rematch?
First time ever.
I think it's pretty obvious. I would be surprised if it's not on your thing. Maybe it isn't, because maybe you don't think they'd be a good match, because I do have that concern. But at some point before he's gone, Cena and Gunther, I need to see the two of those beat the shit out of each other, specifically Cena.
You're mean.
Really? Because he's so old?
You're a mean man.
That was the very first thing I wrote down, Cena versus Gunther. And I don't know if there's even a story necessary other than like, Gunther is pitch perfect right now as far as the smarmy, like I'm smiling, but like this is a joke. You have a circus. You're wearing jean shorts. Like this is a job. I am the best. I am the general here. Your time is over. Yes, this is great. You have your farewell tour.
I don't like rap music.
Yeah, your farewell tour. This is silly. Yeah, this is the show. This is. Oh, you do a lot of make-a-wishes. I'll tell you what. You want to step in the ring with greatness? I'll grant you your wish.
Oh, he's terminal,
and he's making a make-a-wish for him. I don't know, but I just feel like that is a match that I don't even know that we need. That could be a thing that they just announce on a Raw one night. If you know what I mean, it's one of those like just got to see it before they leave, and whether or not it's even
great. Then he's gonna pull an Austin and take his ball and go home.
Maybe
I don't advertise match.
I don't even know that it's like. It doesn't need to be for title. It doesn't need to. It could just be that's one of those things where I could see Cena being like, this is clearly a huge star right now and a star of tomorrow.
I gotta see if I got it.
And
I gotta see if I can still beat him.
100%. Like this is,
he could be if Gunther goes through Jay,
right
through Mania, and then he could be the guy that it's like, I gotta see if I could beat the champ, and Kurt could be slapping him. And I'm for it. I didn't put it down because at the end of the day, I'm like, that's kind of mean. Don't beat him up.
I will say,
John Cena alone.
Right, we haven't seen, in my opinion, I really haven't seen Gunther have a bad match yet. I will say there are definitely some opponents that he's better against than others.
Yeah.
I do worry that he's going to be a little bit less impressive against the John Cena type. But John Cena's not unwilling to fucking do shit and to change and to he got to where he is.
He'll make it exciting.
Exactly. He got to where he is by making everything as big of a moment as he could. And so he'll get his chest will be lit the fuck up and he'll take it. And, I could see his reps being like, you can't do that. You're not letting you. But I mean, Cena Gunther, it's right there for the taking.
Absolutely. Another match that I have that I think is in that vein is John Cena versus Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's it's right there. Fatu's wild. Like Cena has a history of some of the with Umaga.
Call on the Umaga match you showed me. Yeah.
That kind of stuff where he's fighting this uncontrollable beast of a human, and how does he beat him? And he used to be able to beat him, but in this case, Jacob needs that win.
Right.
You got to solidify
100%.
Jacob, and just Cena's got to write off
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being his last match of this whole fucking tour. That's it. He puts over Fatu, and Fatu's like, John Cena's gone forever. I handed him his last loss.
I handed him his last victory.
His last ass whooping. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of up there with me with the Gunther, where it's like, it needs to happen. I don't even know that we need a giant story going into it, but if we get one, that's even better,
I feel like the one thing I would say with Fatu being the last guy, this isn't a normal wrestling scenario where someone's career is on the line.
100%.
The overall thing can end in a friendly exhibition. It could end with him and Cody at a friendly thing, or
it could end in a tag match. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is, but Jacob Fatu has to be a definitive. He fucking beat Cena.
Yep.
And that guy is a whole nother breed.
Right.
I can't beat him.
Yeah.
But Fatu needs it.
Where are you at? I got one more match and two more moments.
I've got one more match and one more moment.
Great. Okay, so here's my second to last moment. That is, I wrote down very hastily right when we started. I just want, because Cena's really good at circumventing the expectation of pro wrestling things, and sometimes he can deliver something really funny in a way that we all go, oh yeah, that's right. I think he took that from Triple H. I'm thinking of Triple H being like, hey, weren't you Jamaican once? Cena does that really well to people. I just want very clear as day to him in a segment with Cody be like, hey Cody, so what did The Rock hand to you? And I want Cena to be the guy that brings that back into our memories.
Oh, so he revives Rock's storylines that Rock is done with?
Yeah. Just be like, what did he give you? It's been bothering me for 2 years now. What the fuck did he give you? And he could be like, I don't know. But he doesn't have to anything to do with it. It could just be in a prep talk backstage. He doesn't need to get involved in whatever that leads to.
Does it have to be answered?
I would like it to be. I think it's funny.
Okay, or if Cody's like, I can't
tell you. And then he'd be like, whatever, man. Just get on his ass about it. What do you mean you can't tell us? What could it have been? And have him guess what it is. Have him, do some comedy shtick where he's the funny guy to Cody's very serious. This is a big deal, you guys.
Stop it.
I don't know. I kind of I wanted him to be a little bit annoying to Cody Rhodes at some point, and I think that's my favorite version of that. Because Cody Rhodes is becoming the new Cena more than any other person on the roster.
Sure.
And I think it'd be funny if he poked that a little bit and was just and I think this is a great end because we still don't know what he gave him.
So you don't want him to ask The Rock? Know.
I mean,
you want him to ask Cody?
Oh God, I thought about writing 3 times in a lifetime. That was as one of my matches. Just because we got once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime. I feel like we need a third one, right? But no, I don't want him to talk to Rock. I think I've seen him.
It could also be he's on the phone backstage, hey Rock, yeah. By the way, what'd you give Cody?
That's the director he called.
No, wow, that's crazy.
Sure, that's fun. Yeah,
stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a stupid little silly thing I wrote down. I have one last match, and then we could go back and forth with the rest.
Okay.
Last match, I mentioned him earlier. I think he obviously Cena brought a lot of guys into the company in ways that were very effective. But
I thought you meant like he hid them in his trunk, like at a drive-in.
no,
it's
meaning,
like, hey guys, you don't have money for the show? Come on, get in the car.
Meaning he was involved in the early stages of their career. I don't know that anybody was as effective and built on that as much as my favorite. We talk about him all the time, Kevin Owens. I think you've got Kevin Owens in a great spot now, playing the heel, but not wrong about things, but also being a sore loser. You know,
isn't he not wrong about
yeah.
things?
And when Kevin Owens beat John Cena, stepped on the U.S. title, I think it was the U.S. title at the time, right? And held up the NXT title. That was like, I was in pro wrestling at that point more than I think I was ever since I was a kid. Like I don't know that we were doing the show at that point. Maybe it was just before Compadres came to Dragon Wagon Radio. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like around that time. And I was just like fucking in. I loved that John Cena did that. And I gained so much respect for him. That was at a point where I was really of the like Cena sucks group.
Jake, Kevin Owens beat him up.
Oh,
John Cena didn't say, go ahead and do that. He beat him up.
Yeah, I know, but he's Super Cena. He had to at least pull his punch a little bit.
The NXT title's made of kryptonite.
That's what it is. Shit. Man, I just, there is a story there that I would love to come full circle. And I honestly, I kind of think that it's almost like he no longer has the winged eagle, which is kind of a bummer. Meaning Kevin Owens not carrying around his replica belt.
By the way, did you notice that Wingstop logo? Because it was the sponsor for that match, and it kind of looks like the Cody Rhodes.
That's funny. It's like, a propeller.
Come on, right? Cody, get the Wingstop on the other side.
On the other side. Oh my god, that's a great idea. Fuck, I can't wait till Monday. Wingstop that's what we do on Mondays. Tomorrow's Wingstop day here in the house.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but fuck, I would take some free wings, baby. Yeah, honestly, I don't know the angle in, and I don't even necessarily know that you need it, because much like with some other, like a Gunther, like he's kind of just there, but I do think since there is a history, there's something to be mined, and whether or not it's Cena being like, what the fuck happened to you, dude? You know, like, or something like,
it's like, what? I've always had this tummy.
Right. They always had great chemistry, and there's something to be said about the fact that
Here's something.
Okay.
That maybe starts it off. Like Kevin's backstage and like something happens, he's undoing the tape. Doesn't take his shirt off, mind you, but he's just undoing wrist tape or something like that. And Cena comes by and goes, hey man, am I still your son's favorite wrestler? Like,
perfect.
Slap on the shoulder.
Perfect.
And then like, oh fuck.
Perfect. God, how has he not said anything about Cody? Like, God damn it, my kid said Cody and I slapped him. But no, I that's great. What I was gonna say was fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I had a thought process.
Was it pre what I said?
Yeah, it was right before you said I was in the middle of something and you interrupted.
Oh, well, I thought you were saying like I don't have anything, but
no, there yeah.
Those two guys rekindling NXT title.
But yeah, no, it's gone.
Sammy.
But whatever it is.
Sammy on a pole.
Sammy on a pole match is a great idea. But I don't know. This is what I was going to say. Thank you for bringing it back. By Sammy on a pole somehow brought it all back. KO has been title adjacent for how many fucking years now?
86.
Yes. And like, I think out of all of the people that Triple H has relied on as like, you're the guy that I can put with anybody.
He was the guy that gave him the title.
Right.
Here.
I definitely feel like there's something about Kevin Owens couldn't get it done against fucking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get it done against Roman unless it was him and Sammy and it was a tag match. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't get it done against.
Couldn't get it against Austin.
Austin.
No title.
Against Austin, against Cody. Like, I mean, this is a story that, like, one could argue he's on a losing streak. Yeah, he's been winning matches.
Yeah.
But he's on a losing streak. And here's now, it's much like how we said that maybe Cena's like, I got to see if I still got it because with Gunther, here's a new guy who I've never faced who's making waves. Like,
Kevin's got that.
Kevin is like, you know what?
I got to be the guy that puts him out.
Yes. You know what?
It's November. I want you out of here
100%.
now.
Yes. We don't even celebrate Thanksgiving. And like, yeah, like that
have
could
their
be
own
the chip on
Thanksgiving.
his shoulder. And I think that, maybe that's the in because I think that Cody rather KO hasn't been able to get it done.
No. Performance anxiety.
That's a tough one. So what's your last match or moment? And I got one more moment after that.
Okay, I'll do my
Whichever
I'll
one
do
you
my
like.
last match.
Okay.
Sorry, War Games, you're sitting this one out. 2025. Back to Survivor Series.
Okay. This is the one that I crossed out that I didn't talk about because I haven't. Go ahead. What do
So
you got?
what I got, we were talking parallels a little bit earlier too. Of again, we've not shared lists with each other.
No.
But I feel like when you want a Gunther, I'm like, yeah, I could go Gunther, but I think the one that I want more, that if I'm going to be mean to Cena, that's you got to get beat up by somebody. It's Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Okay.
Braun Breaker is the longevity you have with that guy.
Right. Sure.
Potentially that investment, you need this one on there. But I thought, Cena talked about post Austin Theory in interviews that he's like, that's kind of what I have for matches. That's what I can do. So Braun's a fucking freak, clearly.
Right.
That he's doing his 23 mile per hour runs.
Yeah.
And is an anomaly. So let's pad that a little bit. Let's make it a bigger deal. Let's make it a Survivor Series match. Let's do a throwback. Let's do 5-on-5.
Team Braun.
Let's have a
Team
captain
Cena.
and a captain choosing their teams. And we've had a bit of that here and there. We had it this past year where there's putting your teams together. So I say Captain John Cena on his team of Sheamus. They've been through the trenches together.
Right.
Like maybe not everybody they fight against each other.
No, but
some of it's teaming with each other.
Maybe
it's like
it's
you
the
took
pillars.
the title from me.
Maybe it's sort of like we got that little moment in the Women's Rumble where it was like, oh, here's the three ladies, the veterans who've been around, and the three up and comers. Maybe this is a little bit of that where it's like Cena's going to put together a team of the veterans, of the old guys.
Of like, yeah, Sheamus, you took the title from me. Like, I want you in my corner.
Right.
I know you're good, and I know you got history with this dude. Like, let's do it. Okay. Randy Orton.
Of course.
And the War Raiders.
Oh, shit. Do you like them now? What's happening?
I certainly do like them a lot more now.
Because now that they're no longer
three-dimensional.
cosplaying? Yeah. And that they have a good name again?
No, the name, I still can't keep track of.
I
know what it is because I looked it up and wrote it down.
You or Michael Cole. Remember how many times he said Viking Raiders at that fucking...
I don't know. But they're three-dimensional now. They have more of a story behind them, and it's not just the silly Vikings or whatever they were, just kind of flat before. You get to know them as people a little bit more now. You know the journey. But I feel like you have to have a little bit of lift up for somebody else. And I don't know, those guys also seem to be presenting the story of, yeah, we could both break at any moment and then we're done.
Right.
Okay, well then let's get you in here for this. Versus Captain Braun Breaker with Pete Dunne.
Love it.
Ilya Dragunov.
Fucking love it.
Because when he comes back, no more of this happy, like, I'm a good guy. You're a weirdo.
Yeah.
You're evil now.
Okay.
And the Street Profits.
Okay. I like this.
So there's a bit of a stretch between two of the guys that Braun's, while he's not friends with any of these guys.
No.
It's about, hey, we're kind of the next crop.
This could literally be like Alex Pierce or what's his face telling
Pierce.
God damn it. You know what I'm talking about.
The greatest Royal Rumble watch along winner?
I hate everything about this program. Adam Pierce. It could be either
he didn't choose that match.
Like telling Braun he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, you can't just have
you can't take them all on by yourself. And so Braun could be kind of reluctantly like walking up to people, and it could be sort of almost like it's a little bit competitive. And especially with somebody like Butch, where like Butch has a chip on his shoulder. I'm sorry, I called him Butch, Pete Dunne.
But that's what it can be.
Exactly.
You still hate that guy, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You want to hurt him?
Yeah.
Because
and then he'll be like,
yeah,
I'll fucking do it with you. And they could be a little contentious towards one another. And the same thing with even the Prophets. Like, yeah.
But he's with Pete and Ilya, it's, these guys are a little crazy, a little manic, and it seems like they want to hurt people. And Street Profits have that vibe right now.
Right.
they went crazy with the crutches.
Right.
And so I thought, like, yeah, keep that vibe going, and they're not getting their due, and all these guys teaming together to go against them 5-on-5. And one moment that I thought could be kind of cool is Cena having up maybe one or two guys in the attitude adjustment, right? Like he's stacking them,
Right.
doing something, and that's when Braun does
Spear.
the rope,
Right.
You know, the 23 miles per hour, like ropes, spear, and takes him down. And then ultimately, I think Braun has to win it, maybe with a couple other guys,
Right. Yeah.
in that corner. But
Sure.
it's about Braun standing tall over Cena, having the team,
Right.
and Cena loses that one.
I think the only thing I'm unsure about is the War Raiders, because I'm too hung up on the old guys versus the young guard, and I feel like the War Raiders are part of that young guard, and I'm like, oh, but I don't know who it would be. I don't know who the old.
But they also look
guard-
old.
That's a good point.
They've been around for a while. They look old.
can't
And
think
Street
of-
Profits are. I think you could get some tag team stuff that
Right.
splits off from that, where
Right, of course.
they're fighting each other, and
Yeah.
whether that's also a point in which, you know, again, fantasy booking, that's roughly a year out match, right? It's in November.
Right.
If Montez is breaking out, if
Sure.
Eric or Ivar are breaking out, that if there's something like that, hey,
Yeah.
this is a point when that can start to happen.
I think I get that all, but just for the sake of playing the thought game, I think the only people that I think could even fill those roles, if we were to just keep it that era, would be like a reuniting of the Usos at some point.
No,
because
don't
it's
want
like, but I'm trying to think. There's no other tag teams that are even from that era. Now that I'm thinking of it,
Well, there was stuff I looked at it all, and none of it felt good and right to me. And Survivor
Hardys,
Series is
yeah.
not always about. I didn't want it just to be the old
I know,
guys.
I know you don't, but I'm talking about if I was playing that game in my own head.
Right.
Yeah, but the hypothetical I'm making.
But I wanted there to be some lifting up and some other people involved, and shining spotlight on guys that I think deserve it. And I think also the Street Profits and War Raiders still have one of the most horrendous pandemic matches in my mind, and it needs to be
100%.
kind of wiped away.
They need to make up for that for sure. Right on. Well, I have one final moment,
As do I.
which might be controversial. And again, none of it matters anyway, because as we've addressed, this is all arbitrary and made up silliness. But my final moment is just Cena beats Flair's record.
Oh my God, that's a lot of titles.
I want Cena to beat his fake record. The WWE history books, this is how we write it. I think he deserves it.
Mhm.
As much as, Flair is an icon and a great person, he's increasingly becoming a hard person to for them to hold up in a high regard. They already have enough of that.
That's because Tony Khan bought him for Sting.
Right. And I think that Cena is a great example and a person that for however many years from this point on, WWE could be proud to be most all-time winning champ of all time, John Cena, also, grants the most wishes and does the most and is the most, fortuitous fucking good guy in public. And, I don't know, I think
I just want them to say that word for word.
yeah, and with this this is well, it's crazy that they rehired Vince Russo to write the copy for this commercial.
Well, there's not enough bros in there.
No, I'm good at, I limit my bros. I grew up on Long Island. I can't stand it. My brother says bro to me in a text message, and I go, ooh.
Bro.
But,
Bro.
yeah, I don't know. That's my moment. I don't know what we could pick any of these to build the story into that. It could be any of these matches that either one of us have said, of these singles matches that could be title matches that get him there. But I want him to beat it. And I've totally 180'd on that. Literally with the Jon Stewart moment at Survivor or SummerSlam that one year.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, this is a weird way to do it. But I was like, no, good. I'm glad that I have completely 180'd on this. At first I was like, let it be Flair. Let him have that. And I think I've gotten so sour to Flair as a human being at this point that I'm just like, no. And also I do feel like since that time, Flair has still wrestled and done things to kind of just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Cena will do it in time.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, but sure he will. But I don't know.
30 years from now, we'll be saying like, "Oh, Cena's at it again."
I don't know though, because I think Cena's actually going to have a decent enough career in Hollywood.
I don't know. He's going bald.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You can't be a good person.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm on week 4 of my hymns, and everything is fine.
You seem a little emotional.
They said that was a side effect.
I think you're taking hers.
I do still have some pretty great tits.
C cup.
Wait, were they in the women's battle royal?
Yeah, they're tag team partners with BFAB.
BFAB and C cup.
A final moment to close it out.
Yeah. Do you have any opinion? You didn't really say anything about that. Any thoughts?
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Because I think Flair, as much as Cena is beloved,
right?
And there were, being a fan throughout all the time, there were times of like, Super Cena, we're fucking sick of you, we're done. Flair is another beast. And when you talk about the styles of wrestling or what Flair is capable of as a wrestler, and certainly he had a just as crazier schedule than John. And I know they do different things for different reasons, but Flair was the penultimate wrestler. And do you break that record? Is it worth it? I'm imagining a guy like John's like, I don't want to. I don't know if that's true or not, but he seems more like the humble guy. It's like, there's no point. Like, he looks at Flair and goes, yeah, it should be Flair. Shouldn't be me.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, but does WWE and does Nick Khan and does all of the people.
Or do they look at Orton and go, yeah, maybe it should be Orton?
Is he far behind?
I think he's at 15 or 16.
Tell you what, Orton still has more time. So like it could, why not both?
They just every day they win and lose titles.
We got to bring back that 24/7 thing, you guys.
So they get 365.
Right. Oh, the 365 title. That'll be the next one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
it's kind of nice to have Flair be that measuring stick.
Yeah, I understand
and get people close but
he's fucking gross.
Cena is it's also in the era that I personally didn't like with the 2 titles, and people just kept winning it and losing it like crazy. Like Edge within like a year jumped from like, he's a 4-time champion to, he's 11.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
That just means you lost it a bunch.
Right. It means you can't hold
Flair
the title.
Wrestled for a long time and had that many title runs. So it's different.
Right. Well, what's your final thing to wrap us up?
My final moment is more of a sentimental one. And again, we didn't exchange lists, but God damn it, we have something a little bit similar, because you want something answered about an object of mystery. And I want to create something of mystery. So I want on December 25th, their holiday show.
Christmas.
Whenever that falls, of when they have their Christmas showing, if it's a Raw or if it's a SmackDown. Okay. I want the man who penned the book that I'm almost finished reading, his 5th autobiography. I want Saint Mick to show up.
Okay.
That is Mick Foley as Santa Claus. I'm
okay. I think everybody gets it.
Do they? Come on. I don't know about Lemon Cat. That Mick Foley shows up as Santa Claus and sees Cena. And this isn't played for silliness. Maybe in the first moment or two, it's a little bit silly, but letting Cena know, you've been a very good boy.
Right.
And letting him know that throughout your entire career, you've tried to do what's right. You tried to do what's good. And Saint Mick has a very special present for you. But you don't need to open it now. This is a present you can open on any Christmas, and it's very special. But you don't have to open it today.
Okay.
You can open it any time in the future, John, and it's a little box.
How big?
A little box like this big.
Okay. Like a little size of a softball.
Like your brain.
And a box. Oh, my little brain?
And he says, this is for you, for all the good things that you've done, and this is your gift, and I want you to have this. But again, you don't have to open it now. Think of it like a money in the bank. Now, there's not a title shot in there, but anytime you want to open this gift, it's there for you, John. Just have it and know that you've been great and a wonderful human being. Like, he makes it really emotional and somber. Sure. And Cena accepts it and says, like, thank you. And then Foley can be like, don't forget that, I didn't forget when you saved me from getting hit by Alberto Del Rio by that car. Like, but what is ultimately this payoff of what this gift is that it can be one of those the worst kept secret in wrestling.
Right.
It's his Hall of Fame honor.
Oh, like
that when he finally opens it on a Christmas for another show in the future of when he decides to do it.
Right.
That is his invitation to be accepted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Right. That's really good. I like that. I was curious. At first, I was like, why the fuck are you doing it in December when he's only got like a month left of his tour? But that makes sense because then it's just something that is just, he rides off into the sunset. And then whenever they decide to do that, hey, we have
we have this thing that fans can always ask, like, what is it? Like, I don't know. I haven't opened it yet.
It could even be like him on social media one year, be like, hey guys, I've been thinking a lot about this box. And then they show it on air like, oh my God, breaking news, John Cena.
Yeah, but it's
broken by TMZ.
But I just think it'd be
you can do it on Tout. That'll come back.
It will. I think it'd just be a really sweet, sentimental thing to do for Christmas, something to look forward to in the future. It is an object. It is a thing. And we can all speculate and go like, I think it's this. It's obviously this, but it's acknowledging, look, I'm sure WWE would like to put you in the Hall of Fame right now.
Right.
But you're probably doing stuff and you want to step away for a little bit. So let's make it a moment later. And it's a nice little gift in a moment. And you'll open it on your own time.
That's fun. I really like that. You gave that some legitimate thought.
I did all.
Wow. I really thought that you were a piece of shit. It turns out you're kind of a sweet boy.
Kinda.
And
then Krampus comes in and tears his nuts off.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. What's your Cena wish list? Leave a comment below.
We have a Discord. You can do it there. You can call in on the hotline.
Yeah. 747-666-5606. That's the number of the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline. You can call that number and leave a voicemail, and we'll play it right here on the program. And we'll chat with you there. Check out pwpalskis.com. That is your one-stop shop for literally everything PWP. You can find the link to the Discord there. You can find a link to the shop. Snag yourself some fantastic merchandise, a fantastic hat, hoodie, t-shirt, mug, phone case. Lots of really cool designs. Some that are just show specific, some that are just like fun wrestling specific stuff that is just like cool little conversation pieces when you're at all your wrestling shows. And of course, please become a patron over at patreon.com/pwpalskis bookstore. Really want you to do that. Here, boy. Come here, boy. Come on, let's tell the people. Yeah. Come on. Let's tell the live streamers. No, he's like, you usually make me sit, so I'm gonna sit. That's what he's doing.
He sat.
Best way to support the show is become a patron, and you get a ton for that. You get access to a massive fucking library of tons of different shows, weekly, episodic, watch along Wednesdays, pre-shows, all different series. It's quite frankly, it's far too much. You get access to the live streams. You get entry into the monthly championship battle royal. Mickey Bell, current PWP champ, will defend that title. First episode of next month. So much stuff over there at the Patreon, all for a measly $5 a month. One cost for everything, because it is, of course, PWP 2020. $5. Scott Narver, anything to say before we go? Oh, wait, we got to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
I'm a gonna.
Why don't you a gonna?
I willa. So thank you to all of our current Patreon Palskis who are supporting the show. Our PWP champ, Michael Beltran, Adrian Avina, AJ0314, Alex Pierce, Andrew Beeler, Gilbert Short, Matt Slama, Mexican Stallion, Mike Lucas, Strong Style, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and Tony Griggs.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the program. Now, do you have anything you want to say before we leave?
90s Wrestling Writers' Rooms. It's a very funny series. They're like a minute and a half long. You can see them on social media. You can find mine at Scott Narver. I post things now, as well as Shane Hartline. You can find it there. Super funny, fun wrestling antics, explaining the most absurd things in all of wrestling, and little short comedy sketches. Noel Foley loves them. Thunder Rosa loves them. Wrestlers are coming out of the woodwork, giving the smiles or thumbs up or eggplant emojis. I don't know what they are. It's beloved.
You did one on The Rock, and I think that it's his favorite thing that's ever been made, is what they said. I read that on TMZ.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dwayne said that?
Dwayne said that on TMZ.
Oh, man. Take that, red one.
Yeah. Check those out. That'll do it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you had fun. It's always a blast hanging out with you, Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.